Hey there! As mentioned in the last video, the recaps have changed to a seasonal format. There's a lot that can happen in a season, so let's start with the most adventurous of them all, Twitchcon 2016. In case you don't play video games, Twitch is a live stream platform where people can watch the live shows or host their own live shows. The topics of the live shows mostly focus on video games, but there are other non-gaming live streams out there, such as art, music, and chatting with fans. So naturally, a convention like TwitchCon is a must. In fact, I had a wonderful experience working on the Education Live show with the AV Society, where people at the event and online could watch the show.
I got a chance to attend TwitchCon.
Since I worked the show, the main highlights of the event were running into old friends, and I even ran into my brother. After the show was over, the crew I worked with headed down to Buca di Beppo for our last meal with each other. It was great to be able to work with some of the old faces from the CNET and GameSpot days, like Tracy Peterson, Ryan McDonald, Tim Tracy, and Milena Tracy. Speaking of events, Call of Duty XP also made a return after 5 years.
I didn't get to attend it, but I was so happy to see that it returned in hope of seeing it again. I had to go back to see some of those old videos with former GameSpot staff.
That event had everything from ziplining, sumo wrestling, off-road military experience, and paintball. Thinking back now, that place offered so many different experiences. This has to be the best event I've ever attended. But having an awesome person like Sophia to adventure with made it even better. Speaking of adventures, I played Nuka World Dlc from Fallout 4.
Spent many hours in it, and I really enjoyed this DLC. I think it's by far my favorite. The Nuka-Cola franchise meets Disneyland. It's so good. Like, somebody was really brilliant in thinking about this.
The Nintendo Switch teaser trailer was also released. The design of the platform looked intriguing, and I was hoping it would get me back into playing some Nintendo games. Whether it's in a film, show, or audiobook, there's always a story to unfold. Sully is a true story about a captain handling a plane with 2 engines that go out.
Sully was a bit more serious because of the true story, which was really enjoyable.
Accountant. While I'm not a big Ben Affleck fan, this film kind of changed my mind. Accountant is an action thriller about a man who accidentally encounters the finances of criminals. Hush. I rarely get scared watching thriller films, but this one disturbed me enough where my heart started racing. Speaking of captivating shows, Westworld is a sci-fi lover's dream. Artificial intelligence placed in an American frontier where real people interact similar to you would in a video game.
What an amazing encore of music. The intro is breathtaking.
As for Black Mirror, it's another science fiction that pretty much is the modern version of The Twilight Zone.
I was warned earlier in the year to check it out, but now that I have tried it, I kind of get why people say it's amazing. There's a lot of sci-fi stuff in it.
If you're a fan of the quirky and unforeseen, that's the show for you. When it comes to books, Dresden Files is a mystery set in a modern magical world. Dresden is a private detective investigating magical crimes, but he isn't your typical Sherlock Holmes. I gave the first book 5 stars and placed the rest of the books in the series on my future reading list. Thanks again for the suggestion, Jim.
Speaking of audiobooks, the New York Times posted a neat article about how audiobooks are turning more readers into listeners. While it does mean that ebooks are slipping, I actually enjoyed that I wasn't the only one. I enjoy listening to audiobooks while driving, while cleaning. Like, I do not listen to the radio. I listen to audiobooks because I feel like I can unfold stories as I'm doing something else that could otherwise be considered as moving stuff. Think about it. When you're moving dishes into your dishwasher, you're moving stuff. When you're putting stuff away in the laundry, you're moving stuff. So it kind of takes away from the mundane things that happen, especially when you're driving long distance. So thumbs up to New York Times for figuring that out.
What's a recap without something adorable to share? I spent about 3 months researching different dog breeds, and the end result was an Australian cattle dog. Her name is Rocket, named after my favorite weapon projectile in Quake. She is a spunky little puppy, only 8 weeks old, so I had to make a YouTube channel to share her adventures with everyone. In case you didn't know, she's the same type of dog breed as Dogmeat in Fallout 3, and the original Mad Max film.
That puppy got me so busy. She has an unboxing video that she did on her own. I was very impressed with all the things she did. She is such a delight. I love her to pieces. I hope you enjoy this crazy wrap up, and please check the channel for more to come.